Hi everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we're making these beautiful sparkle puff and holiday cones. These are adorable and they just give a really festive feel to any house decor. So I really enjoyed making these. You can make as many of these as you want. I am going to demonstrate today this shorter one, but you can go on to making yours bigger. You can use just a regular cone. I'll show you all the information, all the supplies we need for this project, and then I will get into answering some frequently asked questions, and then we'll get into making these sparkle and puff holiday cones. So the yarn I'm using 4 different colors today. The main color I'm using is this Red Heart Holiday yarn. This is a worsted weight yarn. It is red and silver. It has like this metallic-y type of stuff wrapped around it, so it's really nice. And we're not using a whole lot today, but I'm using red and silver for my main color. It kind of gives that Santa Claus look to it. These balls of yarn come in 235 yards, but I'm not using that much, probably less than 100 yards. So you're going to just need a little bit of that red yarn. Then our next color, scraps of black. I actually don't even have a label for this one, but this is just a Red Heart Super Saver yarn, and it's just black. You can use any plain black yarn. It's just for the belt part of this Santa look here. So, and then obviously this gray color here, this is a Red Heart with Love yarn, and this is so super soft. And if you watched the other videos this week, I made what is that? Hat for Nate. I made a hat for Nate, and I made fingerless gloves for Nate as well. So you can use this gray yarn. This is pewter, actually. The specific color is called pewter for the buckle, but you can use a yellow yarn, a gold yarn, or any type of, gray or silver yarn if you want to give a different look, but I like the gray yarn for the buckle, but I know a lot of Santa Clauses have gold buckles. Also, for the popcorn stitches, you can see them right there. Popcorn stitches are my absolute favorite stitch of all in the whole crochet stitch world. This is like my all-time favorite stitch, so I'm really excited to use popcorn stitches today. And this lovely puff ball on the top of our cones, these are made with Red Heart with Love metallic yarn, and the specific color I'm using is white. You can use any color, any white yarn that you want, I guess, for the bottom of these cones and the puff ball of your cone. And you can change it up, We're doing 2 rounds of these popcorn stitches, so I did recommend, if you wanted to do 1 row of one color and the second row a different color for these popcorns, I think that would look so fabulous. So those are all the colors of yarn I'm using today, and they're all Red Heart yarns, so big ups to Red Heart Yarns for, letting us use this yarn in this project. It's really exciting. Anyway, and then the size hook we are going to use is a G6 hook, which is actually 4.25 millimeters. And you're probably wondering, well, where's the label on this one? These hooks are fabulous. This hook is a G hook, but there are many styles you can get with this beautiful handle on these hooks. You can get this hook at the shop Would Be Fancy on Etsy. I will put the link for these hooks in the description of this video, so you can see actually the shop Would Be Fancy I get all my buttons from as well in a lot of my projects, so if you want buttons also you can get them there. But these hooks are like ergonomic hooks. They fit around your hand perfectly. There are indentations where your thumbs and fingers should go, and you can hold your hook like this. There's different ways. If you hold your hook like a pen, you can hold it like this. There's indentations underneath and everything. It's a universal hook, and it just works really great with gripping on your hand, with just comfortable. It's just really comfortable to use these hooks. And they're made in all different sizes. So the hook handle is actually universal, but then they come in different sized hooks with different handles, because these hooks cannot come out. They are in there, like fully in there. So there are different hooks though. There's one here I have on the side here. that is an eye hook, and they come in different patterns, different designs, but they fit your hand perfectly. And it's nice if you have arthritis like I do, then it's really nice to use, so you don't have to use, you know, wrap your hand around a small tiny just a metal piece. It really is comfortable around your hand. So these hooks are available at the shop Would Be Fancy on Etsy, so I'll put that link in the description of this video and also on my website where you can get these hooks. But yeah, I'm going to use this hook today, and this is a G hook, and I'll put that in the materials section on my website as well, so you can find this hook there. And then you're also going to need a scissors and a yarn needle to cut your yarn, sew in your ends, and sew on this applique as well for the buckle part. And then a stitch marker is highly recommended because we will be working in continuous rounds. Now I'm just using a different color piece of yarn, but if you have a legit stitch marker, I recommend using that. And then these 2 pieces of cardboard are for when I make my pom. If you have an actual pom maker, you are so lucky. I want one. But these 2 pieces of cardboard I just cut out of regular cardboard and a scissors and made these 2 pieces, and I show you later how to use this to make your lovely pom on the top of your cone. So those are all the supplies we need. Also, obviously a cone inside. I got this cone at the craft shop. They are actually in the silk flower department because these are actually for bootleg flowers. Let me take this off here so you can see. So this is the actual cone, and then for that little one there, I just cut off a little piece of the bottom here. So I cut this much off the bottom, okay, for that smaller cone. But these are the bigger cones. They come in this size, and then you can cut them however you want, however short you want to make these, okay? So these are the cones. They're just like foam cones that you can get at any craft store. I got this in the silk flower department though, so if you can't find these in the yarn aisle, you can ask somebody to help you. And I'll also put a link on my website on this piece in the material section, so you can just click that foam cone, and you can find that online as well, so you can get as many as you want. And the size here, so this big size, this bigger cone, which I'm not demonstrating in this video, is 24 centimeters, which is 9 inches. Okay, I'm not demonstrating this one. I'll be demonstrating that one, which I cut a couple inches off the bottom there. And from the top of that cone to the bottom is 7.5 inches, okay, which is about 19 centimeters. Little less than 19 centimeters. So that's how big these cones are, but you can use, you know, cut them down to whatever size you want to use them. And I made this large one off camera, and then I made this small one to demonstrate today, so we can get right into it. But before we start, I do have to mention there are links in the description of this video. So there's not only a link to the written pattern and for these hooks, but there's also a link to my Facebook and Instagram. So I would absolutely love it if you shared your photos for this project. If you make these cones, make as many as you want and decorate your house for the holidays. Definitely share a photo of your Christmas trees, of your festiveness and all that stuff for this holiday. So share it on the Facebook, follow me on Instagram, and make sure to hashtag YARNutopia when you make any of my projects. And before we begin, I have to say a big, huge thank you to my dad, Fuad, Azmat, for taking the time to make this video with us. He is our videographer, editor, and photographer for every single one of our videos. So make sure you subscribe to our channel, hit that red subscribe button. It's by my username underneath the video. And then in this top right corner over here of your video, there is a little I. You can click the little I letter, and you can support YARNutopia today so that we can keep bringing you these fantastic crochet tutorials. And one last thing, I highly recommend you go check out Would Be Fancy and get your hooks. And you know, these would be great for the holidays, you know, for a gift for somebody for the holidays. I just think these are fabulous hooks, and yeah, check those out. So let's get started and make the Sparkle and Puff holiday cones. Let's start out by making a slip knot. So get your red yarn, put your short end over your long end, then fold that down and pull that through and pull tight. Insert your hook and we can begin. So let's start out by chaining 2, so yarn over and pull through, 1 and 2. And then we're going to work in the second chain from the hook, and we're going to put 6 single crochets in there. So the loop on the hook doesn't count as anything. So count 1 and 2 right in there. We're going to go into that chain, then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, that is a single crochet. So we're going to go in again for 6 of those. So that was 1. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So that's 2. Go in, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, so that's 3. Here's 4 and 5 and 6. Okay, then we are actually going to insert a stitch marker. If you have a legit stitch marker, put it in there for the beginning of your round. We're going to work in continuous rounds. I'm actually going to just take a different color yarn and mark the beginning of this round here. Okay, and in this project, I'm going to work through both loops of my stitches. Sometimes I like to work in the back loops when I'm working in continuous rounds. It just gives a nice ribbed effect, and you can work in the back loops of this whole project if you want to, but I'm actually going to work through both loops. Okay, and hopefully you can see my stitches here. We're going to go into this first stitch. If you need to, count back 6 stitches, and we're going to start in there. And we're working in continuous rounds now, so we're going to put 2 single crochets in this first stitch. So 1 and 2. Okay, and then we're putting 2 single crochets into each stitch around. So go into this very next one, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, go back into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, next stitch, 2 single crochet, next stitch under both loops here, 2 single crochets, oopsie, 1 and 2, and next one. So at the end of round 2, you should have 12 single crochets. 1 and 2. Okay? So that's what round 2 should look like. Now if you need to, move your stitch marker up. Okay? And for rounds 3 and 4, we are just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So don't forget the one right behind your stitch marker here. We're just putting 1 single crochet in there. So 1 in each stitch around for, again, a total of 12 single crochets. And that's for rounds 3 and 4. So do that, and then I will meet you up for round 5. All right, going on to round 5, so I did rounds 3 and 4, okay, 3 and 4 off camera. So now I'm going to move my stitch marker up, and going on to round 5, we are going to increase. So we are going to put in the first stitch here, we're going to put 2 single crochets, so 1 and 2, and then just put 1 single crochet in the next stitch. So go into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, just like that. So then we're just going to repeat that around. So put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then put 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, then 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, so at the end of this round you will have 18 single crochets, and I'm almost there, so you can just continue watching this. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, and then the next one gets 1. Okay, last 2 stitches here before the next round. 1, 2, and 1. So now going on to round 6 here, we have 18 stitches. I'm going to move my stitch marker up. Rounds 6, 7, and 8. So the next 3 rounds are going to have just 1 single crochet in each stitch for a total of 18 stitches for each round. So that's round 6, 7, and 8. So I'm just going to do that off camera, just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch for round 6, 7, and 8. And then when I finish round 8, we'll go on to round 9 together. Alright, so I did rounds 5, 6, 7, and 8, and those all have 18 stitches on them. So now we are going to go on to round 9, moving the stitch marker up. Okay, and I'm going to increase now. So we are going to put 2 single crochets in the first stitch. 1 and 2, and then we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 1. Okay, and then we're just going to repeat that around. So put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Okay, so at the end of round 9, we will have 24 single crochets. So 1, 2, and then 1 and 1. Okay, so 1 and 2, then 1 and 1. Okay, and that's why it's really nice to have the stitch marker in the beginning, especially if you're counting these increases like this, then you can see that we're almost to the beginning here. Okay, just one more increase here. 1 and 2 go in that stitch, and then 1 stitch in each of the last 2 stitches there. Okay, so you should have 24 stitches at the end of round 9. So rounds 10, 11, 12, and 13 will have just 1 single crochet in each stitch. So that's rounds 10 through 13. And we're just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch, just like this. So I'm just going to do that. Once I finish round 13, I will meet you up. We'll go on to round 14 and do an increase. Alright, so I just finished round 13 here, so we can go on to round 14, and we're going to increase. So I'm going to move my stitch marker all the way up here. And in this first stitch, we are going to put 2 single crochets. So go in, I'm going to move my stitch marker out of the way, there we go. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so that's 1, and go back into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 2. And then we're just going to put 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to do that again. So put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. And repeat. So 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So at the end of round 14, you will have 30 single crochets in total. So just keep repeating this sequence, and then I'll meet you up for round 15. Alright, now for rounds 15, 16, and 17, we are going to just put 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and that is going to be then for after round 17, we'll be changing to black to make the kind of belt look of it. So I'm just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around for 30 stitches around for each round for rounds 15, 16, and 17. And then when I finish round 17, I will meet you up and we'll go on to round 18. When you're going on to round 18, your very last stitch, we are going to change color. So what we're going to do is go in there with our hook and then yarn over with the red, pull that through, but don't yarn over and pull through both of those 2 loops. We're actually going to yarn over with our new color. Okay, we're using black at this point. So hook that on and pull that through to finish off that last stitch from round 17. And now we're going on to round 18 here. Okay, we are going to single crochet in each stitch around for 4 rounds. Okay, so for rounds 18, 19, 20, and 21, we are just putting 1 single crochet into each stitch just like this. Okay, and that's for 4 rounds. Okay, if you want to make your belt a little bit thicker, you can do 5 rounds, totally up to you, but I'm going to do 4 rounds of this. And I did not fasten off this red here because I'm going to actually pick that back up later on when I go back to the red color. So I'll show you how to do that. When I finish round 21, I'm going to meet you back up and we'll go on to round 22. Alright, when you finish round 21, or however thick you want your belt to look, and you want to go back to red here, we are going to change color again, and I'm going to go on to round 22. So what we need to do is, just like I showed you over here to change the color from red to black, we're going to change color from black to red. So we're going to go into this next stitch, yarn over with the black and pull it through, but then drop the black and pick up that red that we never cut that's behind here. Okay, from this section here, we're going to just pull it up from the inside, yarn over with that, and then pull that through those 2 loops. Okay, and then that finishes off that last round there, and we can go on to the next round. I just need to pull my yarn here to secure everything. There we go. Alright, so now going on to round 22. Actually, for the rest of this pattern, we are going to just put 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and that is for as many rounds as you need to. Now this is for your cone, depending on if you cut your cone short or if it is longer or whatnot. You know, you can make this however tall you need it to be. I am going to do rounds 22 through 30. Okay, so that's, I think, 9 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, 9 rounds I am going to do. Okay, and also we can cut that old black yarn because we're not going to be using that anymore. So I'm just cutting that. And what you also can do is tie these 2 strings together. So these 2 black yarns, these stragglers on the inside, you can tie them together. There's really no need to sew in your ends because this is going to be on the inside of your little piece here. I'm just cutting them short and nobody will see that. Okay, so like I said though, we're gonna just put 1 single crochet in each stitch around for as many rounds as we need. I am going to do 9 rounds in total of this red, and then when we get to the length we need, there's going to be a little bit left here. Let me grab my cone so you can see here. This cone, we are going to get it from the top to about a ½ inch or an inch left. Okay, so like 2 to 3 centimeters left, and that should be enough for the puffy stitches. As you can see on this cone here, we want there to be just a little bit of room so that these puff stitches will fit also and not be, you know, too long. So you can do as many rows as you need to. This is another one I have done already, so I'm going to finish this one just doing this little red part about 9 rounds, and then that way that will cover the whole thing, and then we can go on to making those popcorn stitches to make the bottom all nice and poofy, and then we'll go on to, we'll just go on to that step next. Alright, so I finished 9 rounds of this, so I finished with round 30 here. Let me make sure it's 31. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Yes, so round 30 I ended. You could do round 31, another 30 stitches around, totally up to you, but this is what it should look like so far. Okay, looks fabulous. And if you need to, test it out on your cone here. So if you need to, just slip it right over it. And the cones that I got are very like sticky, like not sticky, but just kind of like they really attach to the yarn, which is a good thing because we do want it to keep and stay in its place when we do slide it on. but you want to make sure to have it all stretched out, but be careful not to, you know, ruin your cone here. Okay, and like I said, you want like a 1/2 inch of space left because we are going to be making these popcorn stitches in white to add a little embellishment. So this is what it should look like so far. Okay, so now let's add our popcorn stitches. So let's just take this off here. We're just testing it out. If you need to do more rounds of the red, you can totally do that. That's creator's choice. So now, going on to the next step, if you are fastening off here, we're going to change color. So what I'm actually going to do is go into this next stitch and slip stitch. So yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And then fasten off this color. So chain 1, cut that yarn and pull it all the way through, and then pull that tight. Okay? And then I'm going to grab my white yarn, and I'm going to go in any stitch around. I'm just going to start where we fastened off here. And I'm going to hook this on here. Okay, and then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet into the same stitch. So go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Now in this very next stitch right here, we're going to make a popcorn stitch. So we are going to put 5 double crochets in that same stitch. So yarn over, go into the next stitch right here, then yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, okay, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, that's a double crochet. So you have to put 5 of them all in that one stitch. So yarn over, go back in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So that's 2, here's 3, and 4, and then 5. Now what we're going to do is remove our hook from this loop, so pull it up a little bit, remove your hook, go into the first double crochet of your grouping here, right in there, then put that loop back on your hook and pull it through that stitch. And then pull tight, and that folds your stitch in half, making a nice lovely popcorn. Then what we're going to do is chain 1 to kind of close it. And then we're going to single crochet into the very next stitch. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And then we're just going to repeat. So in the next stitch, popcorn stitch, so that's 5 double crochets all in this next stitch. 1, 2, oops, yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 3. Here's 4 and 5. Then take that loop up, remove your hook, go into the first double crochet, and then put that loop back on your hook and pull it through and pull tight. And there's another popcorn. Then chain 1 and single crochet into the very next stitch right here. Go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, then popcorn in the next, then chain 1 and single crochet in the next, and just repeat that all the way around, and then I will meet you up at the end of this round. Alright, going into here, finishing my last popcorn stitch, we want to chain 1 and then slip stitch to our first single crochet of this round. So right in here, we're going to go in. There's the front loop and the back loop there, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Now going on to the next round, we're actually going to start in the single crochet. You can start in any single crochet if you wanted to change colors for this next round. We're doing another round of popcorns, and our popcorn stitches are going to be in the single crochets. So what I'll do is make a beginning popcorn here, chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, and in the same stitch we're going to put 4 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then remove that hook, go into the chain up 3 here, Okay, go in, then put that loop back on the hook and pull it through, and then fold that and tighten that. There we go. And then we're going to chain 1 and we're going to single crochet. You can either single crochet into this very next stitch right here or in this chain 1 right here. Okay, that's creator's choice. Whichever one you do, you can skip one of them. Okay, so I'm going to single crochet right in here. And then I'm going to skip this next one right here, and in this single crochet stitch right here, we're going to make our popcorn stitch. So that is 5 double crochets, just like I showed you in the last round. Then you gotta remove your hook from that 5th one. Like, oopsie. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So remove your hook, like I said, and then go into the first double crochet of that grouping. Put your hook back on your hook, or put the loop on your hook, and pull that through, and then pull that tight, and then chain 1, and then single crochet into the next popcorn stitch. Okay, so I'm just going to go in here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay. And then we're going to skip this chain 1 space right here, and we're going to make our popcorn stitch into the very next single crochet right here. Okay, so just repeat that all the way around, and you can do as many rounds of this popcorn style as you want. I'm going to end after this round, and then we can make the buckle. Alright, I'm just finishing this round with a single crochet, and then we're going to slip stitch to the first popcorn stitch. So you can go in the top of your chain of 3 or into the popcorn stitch, just like that. Yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And then we can fasten this off. So chain 1, cut your yarn, pull that all the way through, pull it tight, and then we can sew in that end. So let me grab my yarn needle. And then we're going to yarn our needle, okay, just like so. And then we're going to flip this to the inside and sew in our end underneath some of the stitches. Just going wherever your needle fits in there, just go along underneath the stitches, okay, and then you can cut any extra. Stretch it out, and there it is. So you can sew in all your ends. So this is what it should look like so far. Okay, cute. So now let's set this aside and make the buckle. So grab some yarn. You can grab gray yarn, yellow yarn, whatever color you want to make your buckle. And we are going to make a slip knot. So put your short end over that long end, fold that down, and then pull this through and pull tight. Insert your hook. And we are going to start out by chaining 16. So yarn over and pull through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And now what we're going to do is bring this first chain close to the hook here. Okay, so kind of don't twist it, just make sure you flip this over like this, and then we're going to go into that first chain. And what I personally like to do is work in these back ridges here. Okay, so I'm going to go into that first chain, but we're not slip stitching, we're going to single crochet in there. Okay, so then go into that first chain, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, just like that. So we're going to work in a continuous round on this too. So that's our first single crochet of this round. And we're going to put 2 more single crochets in that same chain. So go back in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And again, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So now there's 3 single crochets all in that first chain. Then we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 3 chains. So go into the very next chain right here. Okay, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. That's 1. Next chain is 2. and the next chain is 3. Okay, then we're going to single crochet 3 times in the next chain. So 3 single crochets go into the next chain here. 1, go back in, 2, go back in, 3. Okay, then we're going to single crochet once in the next 3 chains. So go into this next chain here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, the next chain just gets 1 single crochet, and the next chain just gets 1 single crochet. Now the next chain is going to get 3 single crochets. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 3 chains. So you can kind of see the repeat pattern here. We're making a kind of a square shape here. 1, 1, and 1. And then the next chain is going to get 3 single crochets. So in here, put 3 single crochets in this next one. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then we're going to put in the last 3 chains here, we're putting 1 single crochet. So 1, 1, and 1. Okay, and then we're back to the beginning, so you can see here is kind of a square-ish shape. So we're going to be working in continuous rounds. Okay, so for round 2, we're not going to, slip stitch or anything. So if you need to put your stitch marker to know where your beginning of your round is, you can do that. And this is our first stitch here. If you need to, count back 24 stitches, and that is where you should start. So we're going to go into this first stitch right here. Okay, and we're going to single crochet into there. Sorry, I think my first single crochet is actually right here. So go into this first single crochet stitch. Okay, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Then the next single crochet stitch gets 3 single crochets. So go into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, go back in for another, and then go back in for a third. And then the next, let's see here, the next 5 stitches get 1 single crochet. So count 1, 2, 3, here's 4, and 5. Then the next stitch is going to get 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Then the next 5 stitches are going to get 1 single crochet each. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then the next stitch is going to get 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3, all in that same stitch. Then the next 5 stitches are going to get 1, so 1 single crochet each. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, last corner here, the next one is going to get 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Then these last 5 stitches are going to get 1 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're back to the beginning. So we are going to fasten off here. You could slip stitch into this next stitch here. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. And then to fasten off, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to cut our yarn quite long for sewing, and then continue to pull that all the way through and pull that tight. You can remove your stitch marker if you used one, and there is our buckle. Okay, so now we're going to sew this onto our piece, and what I'm going to do, you can see where our color changes are right here on this piece. I am going to position this to cover that. So I'm going to put this side down on that, and I'm going to sew this on. And you want the inside of the square here to cover just the black, or just to show just black, okay? You don't want it to come up like this and show any red in there. Okay, so you want to position this in a way to make it just so that black is showing through. And we're going to grab our yarn needle and we're going to sew this on. So I'm just going to show you the starting of it, and then I'll sew this on, and then I'll show you how to fasten it off. So first off, I'm taking my short straggler right here, and I'm going to position this how I want it on this piece. So I think I want it right here. Okay, I'm just going to go into the yarn, or into the piece there with the yarn, just like that, and then just leave that piece inside. Then I'm going to take my long strand and yarn my needle with that long strand, and now we're going to sew this down. Okay, so we're going to position this how we want it. Right about there is good. Just go into your piece and then back out through the buckle. Okay, and we're just going to go around this entire piece, just going like that. Okay, so in and then out. Okay, and I'm going around the perimeter, and then I'm going to go just a few stitches on the inside also, just to reinforce it for peace of mind. And make sure, I usually keep my hand inside this piece so that I don't, sew the back and this thing closed, just for protection. So you can also do that, just as a guide kind of thing on the inside. And just manipulate this piece however you need to get it sewn down. And then once I'm about to fasten off, I will meet you back up. Alright, so now I sewed this all around, and I even sewed this inside part too, so that's all sewn in and everything. So now we want to end this on the inside though, so just go in to the piece, just like this, and then fold this inside out so you can see these two stragglers here. And we're going to cut this one short, and we're going to tie these two in a knot. Okay, but again, if you don't want to sew in your ends, you don't have to, because nobody's going to see this anyway. So I'm just going to cut those short, and they're on the inside, so you can fold that back right side out, and there's what it looks like. Fabulous! So now I need to make a pom. Before we can put this on the cone and anything, I'm going to set this aside. Okay, you gotta kind of manipulate it to make it look square. There we go. Awesome. So now I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to grab my white yarn, the same yarn that I used for these popcorn stitches, and we are going to make a pom. So let me set this aside here. And then you want to grab either your pom maker or these two pieces of cardboard that look like this, okay? Don't use paper, use something thicker like cardboard to make a pom. There are tutorials out there to show you how to make poms, homemade poms. So I'm not a professional pom maker. I try my best, so this is what it's going to be like. We're going to pull the strand of yarn through the center hole here, and I'm going to hold this here like this. And then I'm going to continue wrapping, okay, around here. It's easy if you bend this down. Let me get this all situated here. Bend this down without breaking your piece here. Okay, and just keep wrapping around. Okay, and we're going to wrap around this whole thing as many times as you want. The more you wrap, the bigger pom you're going to get. Okay, the thicker of the pom. So the less you wrap, the thinner the pom. So you want it to be quite poofy. So I'm going to continue wrapping. I'm not really counting how many times I'm wrapping, just a lot. Wrap a lot. And then you can manipulate this, you know, piece however you need to get inside there. There we go. So it's a lot easier for you. But like I said, if you have a legit palm maker, you are super lucky and you can use that instead because it's probably a lot easier. But I'm just going to continue doing this and then I'll show you after I wrap what to do next. Alright, so I wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped, and this is what it should look like now. Okay, so actually I ended on this side. I started on this side, ended on this side. So now what we want to do is end it on the outside, facing outward. So you don't want to end it, you know, and cut it down here. You want to cut it on this side, okay? So we're going to wrap it once like this. Okay, make sure it's all there. Cut your yarn like that. Okay. And then we're going to take this strand that's on the ball of yarn and we're going to slide it in between these two pieces of cardboard. Okay, just like this. Okay, and I'm going to pull this side a little longer. Okay, and that's going to be used to wrap this all the way around. So what I'm going to do is lay this completely flat on the table and put my hand down to kind of guide it. And then I'm going to kind of use my thumb to separate these two pieces of cardboard here. And we are going to snip. Okay, and you want to make sure that you keep it flat so that none of your little strands come flying away. Okay, and you also want to be extra super careful with your scissors because trust me, by experience in making palms, when your pointer finger is here and your scissors is cutting here, you do not want to injure yourself. So just make sure you have, you know, adult supervision. Obviously I have my dad behind me. Just watching over me, making sure that everything is safe and secure and that you're not being reckless with the scissors. And then we just want to keep cutting all the way around. Okay, and it'd probably be best if you had really sharp scissors too, because this takes a while. Okay, and once we have all of this cut, we're going to use that long strand that's attached to the ball and continue to slide it into this piece, just like this, in between those two cardboards, because we'll be using that to tie this. Again, if you know how to make a palm, you can just skip over this part and show the rest of this pattern, but if you are unsure, you can follow along, or there are other probably better tutorials out there to show you how to exactly make a palm, so make sure that you know, learn how to do that, because palms are a lot of fun. So now I'm wrapping this all the way around, just like this, taking this piece, oopsie, there we go. Okay, so now if you want to look at this like this, you can see that all those pieces are secure on the inside circle there. Okay, so we're going to take these two strands, okay, make them really long. I'm going to cut this one from the ball of yarn, and then we're going to tie these in a knot. So just tie it like that and pull it tight in the center. But don't pull, I mean, you can pull really tight, but don't pull too tight to break your yarn or anything. Okay, so pull tight. And then what I do is flip this around to the other side. Okay, pull these two together and then tie them in a double knot. So tie it like this. Pull tight. And again. There we go. Okay, and then you can see there that it's all tied together, all looking good. You can take, once you're secure and happy with the way it's knotted up, you can take these two cardboards off like that. So this is what it should look like, and you can puff it, make it all nice and puffy. Okay, take those long two strands and hold your piece like this. Okay, kind of get all the pieces even. You want to give it a little haircut here. Make sure that your palm looks fabulous. So you just want to cut down any like odd looking pieces, random long pieces, uneven pieces. Just snip snip. It's kind of like landscaping your lawn in the summertime. There we go. Okay, and once you're satisfied with the way your palm looks, we can attach it to the top of our cone piece. Shake it out. There we go. Awesome. Looks lovely. Okay, so now let's grab our cone piece that we created, and we're going to take our yarn needle and one of the long strands, okay, and yarn our needle with that. Okay, we're going to take the top here, we're going to look at the top of our piece here, and you can see this circle here. We're going to go on one side of that circle and then just pull that through into the inside of this piece. And then take that other long strand, yarn your needle with that, and then go into the other side of the circle. So you can see on the opposite side right here is where we're going to go in to that center. Okay, then we're going to take this and put this inside out. Okay, on the inside of our cone here, cone piece. And I'm going to take these two white strands and tie them in a super duper tight knot. As tight as you can. And you can tie it as many times as you want. 3, 4, 5 times, doesn't matter. And then we're going to just cut these pieces short and leave them on the inside. And if you wanted to, if yours is kind of floopy floppy, you can put tacky glue down underneath there and tack that down. Tacky glue it down. But I like it. So now we're just going to grab our cone, slide this over it, stretch it out to fit around it. My cone is like sticky. The yarn likes to stick to it. Make sure the bottom gets completely hidden. And there it is. How lovely. And there it is, done. The Sparkle Puff Holiday Cone is complete. So you can make as many of these as you want. You can continue on my written pattern on my website. I'll have one written pattern for this large one as well. So you can make, you know, different sizes, tall and small, and make another one for extra small or something cute. So there it is. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you make these and enjoy this video. And if you do make them, make sure to share your photos on Facebook and on Instagram and hashtag YARNutopia so I can see your beautiful work. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Happy hooking!